Hello, hello, hello. Let's double check that all the audio is working. Looks like it is. I hear myself on my side. There we go. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm gonna turn the music off just for a minute. Okay, so welcome. Thank you for everyone who's joining in. It is not the normal time because, okay, I've got my own thing going too loud because I can hear myself and it's echoing. So what we are doing today, we are streaming at a different time because I'm not available tomorrow morning, so we're streaming tonight instead. And we will be working on the iOS application for the Expense Tracker app series, and we're actually going to be doing network calls. So I think that's super exciting. We'll actually be talking to the custom Vapor backend that we've built. So let's just get into it. So hey, Architect, how you doing? How's it going, Jared, if you're still here? Yash, what time is it for you now? And then the last person, how do you pronounce your name? Is it, it's like Paul, I don't want to say it wrong. Can you let me know how to pronounce your name? The one who said hello world, and I'll try my best. It is 11:14 p.m. Nice. Yeah, it's if I stream early in the mornings, I can get a lot of people who are in Europe and other parts of the world that are not like the United States, but streaming late, I can then get more people who are in the United States. So there's, trade-offs for trying to accommodate the world because it's not possible. Hey, Lance, how's it going? I wish YouTube, they're working on their streaming game, but they need to catch up. It'd be cool to see people who join for the first time. If I could actually see that in the chat, because I believe you can see that on Twitch, but I don't think you can see that on YouTube. So let's get into this. I'm gonna run the application and check that everything first looks right. So how's everyone's day today? I'm gonna turn the music back on. Yash, pretty sure YouTube has a first time chatters thing, or is that just Twitch? I think it's honestly just Twitch because I have not seen that over here, so it may just be Twitch. And I'm gonna switch the music. So I was making a custom streaming list of music to listen to, but it's only 20 minutes long. And hopefully it's lower, so let me bump up the sound on my side because it does have words in it, so I hope that doesn't confuse from what I'm saying. See, I'm listening to myself. But it's like the beat of it, but it has words, so I don't know if that'll be too much. Let me know what you think. Okay, so let's get looking at the monitor here, and what we're going to be doing is making the expense tracker app and actually doing some network calls. So we left off, if we run the app, we go to settings, we see this. We see YouTube freelancing income. So these are just set arrays right now. And then when you click the plus button, we can say create income, expense, or account. And then now we need the actual network call that goes behind these. So this just has a basic title and a text field, and it does not look great. It's after midnight for you, and it has a lag. Yes, I try to make it not lag as much as I can, but it does still sometimes. Sometimes streams can have 30 to 45 second lag. I hope it's not super terrible, but it's definitely not instantaneous for sure. But okay, we are doing that, and we're gonna make the network call part of this. So when we click create, which I need to literally add a button over at the top right over here that says create, that'll create the income category for us. So let's get started doing that. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. Okay, I was trying to listen to how bad, if the music is too distracting with all the words. Because it's not just words, it's rap, so there's a lot of words. Okay, let's do, what do we want to start with? Let's make the toolbar items the create and cancel. And then I dropped a warning here because I forgot. Somebody was here last time and they told me, oh yeah, you can put warnings in your code. So like I literally wrote warning and it says like capitalize first letter of category type because it says income right here. And it says expense here, but it's not capitalized. So let's do that. That is Safari, and let me Google that. But also while I'm over here, I have this. I need to bookmark this. So, not gonna lie, you have to do fix me and mark snippets, but warning and error are just better. It all depends on what you're doing and when you want to get back to it. I would say for which one you want to use, for sure. But here, let me drop. This is a link to a Buy Me a Coffee if anyone would like to. It is basically you can decide to donate money to me if you would like, and in doing that, if you donate while I'm on stream, you'll see like your name and everything pop up on the screen. So that's super exciting. No pressure on anybody, but you can do that if you would like. And let's look at how to capitalize the first letter of a string. First letter in a string, and we have to append Swift at the end, otherwise we'll get every other programming language, because we all have to figure out how to do this. Okay. Oh, whoops, my bad. Accidentally clicked the scene switching button. You usually only use mark to separate sections and to add headings to your code. If you were to use to do and fix me, it'd probably be for a low priority issue. Yeah, it all depends on how you want to track everything. So for everyone's context, I am using this tool called Linear. And that is, if we do linear.app, it is a better way to build products. But I really like it so far. Their website, they just redesigned it. It is so beautiful. And this is what I use to track all my tasks right now. So really, I could put like a warning or something and then put a, these are like identifiers. So right now we're doing the CRUD categories. And I could use like EX40 and just like drop that in my code so I know what like fix me or something goes to what part of my code. Or goes to what task too. String.capitalized should work. That's what it looks like. Okay, cool. If that's all it is, that's great. A copy of string with each word changed to its corresponding capitalized spelling. Let's run it and see. Because yeah, sometimes I was thinking you have to do like prefix one too as well. So if we go to settings, create income. No, looks like that's it. Awesome. Perfect. We can get rid of that. That was easy. Okay, one task done. Awesome. Let's keep on going. So I was thinking about it. I might also do unit tests. I'm gonna delete these old apps because they're kind of annoying. delete. Okay. So, hey Yash, what do you think of the music? Is it like too loud, not loud enough? Are the words distracting? Let's try something different. So let's commit this. It's okay? Music is fine. Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, have I been on that one the whole time? The FaceTime? I'm so sorry. Okay, we are going to commit, capitalize. Did I spell it right? Cap. Title. There we go. Oh yeah, and the other person who's in chat, I want to say Paul, but I'm guessing that's not right. Let me know how to pronounce your name properly, and I will do that. Because I'm sorry, I'm very bad at names. Because I just can't pronounce names that are not... Oh jeez, hitting my computer. Okay, I think there's maybe a 5 to 10 second delay or so, is what I'm seeing on my side. Hey, how's it going? Paul is okay. Well, if it's not, let me know how to pronounce your name properly. Okay, we're gonna put that there. Also, the other person, hey, hope you are well. Yeah, thank you, I am. Let me know how to pronounce your name, and I will try to pronounce it correctly, because names are hard. Usually YT has a longer delay than Twitch, but more consistent network video. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen both. I think it's a lot about people's network and computers. Alexis, hey, how's it going? Okay, Shamol. That makes sense. And then Paul. Is it for me? It's better at Gucci. Okay, if you okay, I'll say that way if you want me to. But if you want to give, or I can look up the actual pronunciation. But okay, so we are going to. Let's do the network call. So I was thinking, do we want to do unit test as well? Because we could unit test what we're about to do also. I'm probably going to do the real implementation, and then we can go back and write the unit test. And I already put tests in the project because at some point I want to use them, but I have not done that yet. Or we haven't written any tests yet. TDD time. Ooh, not yet. What is this error? Oh, I've seen this. What does this mean? I think we looked at this a different time. I think we're good. I'm gonna just erase it, pretend it's not there. So let's make a new. Where do we want to put this? Should we call it networking or? Ooh, also I could do. I was thinking, because this is going to be a multi-platform app, meaning not just macOS and not just iOS, we could instead create a new group called shared, and everything will go into here, and then we can create macOS and iOS specific things when we get there. So let's do that. Oh no, don't put that in app. Take it out. Okay, now income, expenses, settings. Okay, so everything is now under shared. Let's just expand it all. Do you have good textual resources on the web about unit testing using XCTest and Xcode? Yes, let me bring back up. So this is my Buy Me a Coffee link. I'll drop that if anybody would like to. If you do buy me a coffee while I'm live, you'll see your name pop up on the screen, so that's cool. Or you can donate anonymously too, and that pops up as well. But then a good resource is Swift by Sundell. Unit testing. He has awesome resources. He has an entire category of unit testing. So just go to Swift by Sundell. I'll drop that link as well. Shamal, and I would say start with like exploring the basics of unit testing. Also, let's go to YouTube and search. Oh, I can't even spell my own name, but it's okay. It's still popped up. So if we go to playlists under my name, if you go to unit testing, I created a course for Code with Chris's channel all about unit testing as well. So basically, you're already on my channel. So just go to my channel, go to playlists, and you'll see this as well. Also, have you all seen the new, look at this pretty, like, the thing on the left now is all like stylized to what the main color is on the video. But I think it's funny. You can see, do you see this corner radius? It like, is that not there? Then it's there. Just on the hover. List in Swift 4.0 is now backed by UI collection view, so that's probably why you're getting those errors. That would make sense. New YouTube is pretty cool, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's really interesting. I like it, honestly. I would have never thought to do something like that. Okay, so we moved all those files. So if we do a git status, we are gonna see literally it looks like every file has been changed, but it's mainly because we've just moved it. So let's go. Oh, you can kind of see it here. There we go. You can see it on its way up here. I just always put my terminal in the bottom left, but I forget I also put my head in the bottom left. So here, I'll move it right there. So let's do move all folders into a shared group. So there we go. So everything is now under shared because when we run it in either iPad or iPhone and we hit run, there we go. Oh, are these both running 16.0? Oh, they are. I need to upgrade my Xcode. Xcode 14.1 just came out, and I have not upgraded yet. But all of this code runs both the iOS and iPad OS code. So, like, it looks the same, almost, except they have different functionalities. So I thought it was really interesting last stream as we go to settings. Oops, settings. By default, this list collapses, but on the iPad, it doesn't collapse. Kind of weird. Because it's the exact same stuff. So, but all this code runs the same thing. Okay, we are going to make a new networking group. So now I am going to collapse these inside of here. New group, let's call this a networking. Or we can make a good old utilities group. Let's do that. Let's call it utilities. Because it's a good catch-all. Let's do a Swift file. What do we want to call this one? What Mac are you using? I am using a MacBook, a 14-inch MacBook Pro with an M1 Max chip. So I spent the money to have a better processor. What do I want to call this? I do want to make this similar to one of the other apps I've done, which has an HTTP client and a, what do you call that? Like an actual data class. So let's just first do HTTP client. Yes, rocket emojis. My computer runs very nicely. I don't have any issues. So like if I build the project right now, this is also a very small project. It took less than a second to build. You can see it up here. It's 0.835 seconds. But this project is very small. I only have 437 lines of code here, so... And that's including the tests. Okay, what do I want to do? Because I want to make a protocol, and I want to have a class that does the actual network request, and then I want to have a real implementation of the class. What do I want to do? Let's do... What do I want to call the protocol? We could call the protocol HTTP client. And then make the class instead start with a protocol. I need to look up more about protocol-oriented programming, but yeah. This is also for mocking, which is really nice. What do I want to do first? I am going to really quick switch it to me. Because I'm opening a program and I wasn't sure which side it was going to open on, and I have to like close some things. Okay, here we go. So now when we go back, my next thing I want to do is make my stream have more animations. Animations would be fun. So it would be more than just like a fade animation between these two. So here I opened Postman. So we can use these endpoints to actually talk to the Vapor backend that I created once I start it. Patch categories. Have I used this? Okay, we're gonna save it anyways. We are doing get category. What do I want to call this? I can't decide. Naming is hard. We want to call this is the actual implementation that's going to do our network calls. But should it do all of them? Let's call this setting. The setting, I can't decide. Network manager. And it implements HTTP client. Maybe that'll be good. Okay. That's what we're gonna go with right now. Have I tried using GCA? No, I have not used that before. Oh, and I was talking about not just animations, animations on my stream, I mean. Okay, so let's do... What do I want to do? So typically I've made this in, what is that called? A singleton, but I don't want to do this because I want to try to mock it. So we need a... I'm like forgetting how to do this. Hey Shamal, thanks for your advice. Yeah, for sure. Need any help in the future? Yeah. If you want, here, let me open Safari again. I have a GitHub repo, so if we go to my name, I have an open source project called Brainmarks. You can actually contribute to that if you would like. It is in SwiftUI, and basically, this is an app that's on the App Store right now. I'm still making some changes for the next update before I merge all the changes that are currently in dev. But you can go comment on any issue that you want to work on, and I can assign it to you. And you can work on an open source project if you would like. Trying to think how I wanted to implement this network request. Because I can do the concrete implementation here, but I wanted to have Oh no, I think I'm doing it right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to fetch data. This is a function. Fetch data and return. Actually, we're gonna write here first because then we won't have errors. Then we copy it. Oh yeah, because I'm thinking of. Actually. Here, on Code with Chris's GitHub, there is a repo called YT Vapor iOS app, and I was the one who wrote this, as you can see here. Let's go to lesson 5. Is that the fifth one? Yeah. And inside of utilities, I made an HTTP client. This one, which I'm going to copy a lot of this code. Actually, I'm going to copy all of this. And I'll explain that in a second, but this I made a singleton, but here is I can make this be generic or not. Because this one I made generic, but if we're going to use an actual class called settings, then it shouldn't be generic. And we would have another level in this. So instead of creating this one to conform, we would have another one, and then it would take in an HTTP client. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I want to keep this one called Settings Network Manager, not conform it to this. And instead... Okay, I don't know when I use invalid and bad URL because those are like the same thing. Let's do... What is the name of this class? Because it's going to be like our generic network. I'm just going to call it networking. I can't think of a good name right now. So this one is going to go in here, and this implementation is going to be our protocol. So this one's generic, and then this one will be an init. Has an HTTP client, so that means we have an HTTP client. Oops. So it's like this. Oh, we have literally already gone through this playlist I made because it was only like 20 minutes long. That's funny. Let's see. Okay. Let's do... Okay, so it's working now. And then inside of this class, we would have a function that does something specific, like fetch categories, for example. And that would be like fetch. And let's say this returns an array of... Do we even have category objects? I don't think we do. So we're not going to make it return something right now. But that's how this will work. And then in here, we would call http client.fetch and then give it the URL. So let's do the rest of this. So I have the HTTP methods. So we have post, get, put, delete, and we want to do patch as well. application JSON, content type. So these are basically all so I don't have to type them, and so now they're type safe. And here is our generic networking class. So I am now going to copy this. Oh geez, don't. So what did we have here? We had fetch, send data, and delete, which is pretty accurate. So if we want to fetch data, we are giving it a URL. We have a response, which we might change this. And then we are decoding some array of objects, and then returning that object. Let's put an S on that. That would be more accurate technically because we are getting multiple objects because that's an array. And let's rewrite this one so we can use multiple status codes. So let's do guard response as HTTP URL response is not equal to nil, else throw HTTP error.bad response. And then now we could use the response. So then we could say if response dot status. Oh, it's still. Let's put that in there. And then let's right now just do one more because eventually we are going to do authentication. Oops, else if. But we don't have that right now, so I do want to separate these because I like them separated more so. So I'm putting them in alphabetical order. So you have bad, Q, T, U, V. Okay, yeah, response goes before. Couldn't figure it out. We have that, and then 401 is unauthorized, so let's do case. Actually, E definitely goes after a B, so that should be right there. Did I have those in order anyways? I don't know. Let's do throw HTTP, whoops, dot unauthorized. And then else throw. Oh, didn't find it. HTTP error dot. We'll just say bad response otherwise. Okay, so now we have the fetch right now using async await, which is super fun. And then here, let's fetch categories. So I also want to separate these. Nothing is called. The only thing called HTTP client is now the protocol. So let's keep all that here, and then let's make a new class, not new class, but new file for networking. So there is our networking class, and we'll say this is a so when we have the 3 slashes, we can click on this and click show quick help, and this will say like what I just wrote here, which is awesome. And I could do that for the functions as well, which I may do. So if we do command option slash, that gives us the documentation. And let's say this is get, if I can type, get request that returns an array of objects. The URL to request let's say for the network request, and return a generic array of objects that are codable. There we go. So now we have nice, pretty documentation. So if I were to commit or hold option and click on this, it gives us the question mark and shows, or hit command, show quick help. It looks like this, which is beautiful. Do you recommend async await over combine? I think they have different purposes. I still don't know combine that well, so I can't really recommend it. I can't really recommend one over the other, Eduardo, but it's up to you. It depends on what you're doing. I know async await more than I know combine right now, so that's why I'm using it. But maybe in the future I might do more combine. Or actually, I know I'm going to be doing more combine in the future, and I can give you a better answer, say in a couple months. So come back and ask me. Let's see. We have this and HTTP client. Let's make one more, and we'll call this the settings network manager. And let's move this one. Okay, so everything that's in the HTTP client is all this stuff, HTTP stuff related to that. And networking, do we explicitly say to do a GET request here? I think we do. Or no, we don't have to, because that's what this does by default. We have to do that there, and we'll get there. Okay, so let's right now... We've written this, that's good. Yeah. Okay, now we can write fetch categories. So the first thing we have to do is we need a URL. So let's make a URL object from a string. Is there from string? Where is it? URL. There, it's called string. And I think that gives us an optional. Yeah, the URL is optional. So right now we are going to force unwrap it, but we will change that. And I'm going to also make it something that's type safe. So typically I'll make like a constants file. I might just do that right now. Do we just want to call it constants, or... Yeah, we'll call it constants because I can't think of something else. But let's call this request. I copied... Let me look on my GitHub. I copied something one time that was a really good implementation, or generic implementation. So let me go to my GitHub. I'm looking at my other screen because I don't want to show my private repos. Oh no, I think I deleted it. Oh, I did delete it. That's sad. I knew one time in a tutorial I saw a really good series for like We can bring this back over. I saw a really good series for like making a good like generic networking kind of thing. Have I implemented VIP architecture in some of your projects? I'm guessing you mean Viper, like VIPER, and I have not done that before. I'm not sure what I'm going to use in this one. I think what I'm going to do is maybe do MVVM, or I might actually end up using the architecture that I use at work, which is its own custom kind of one. Let's see. What did I want to call this constant? We want to call this request. Base URL is equal to something, and then endpoint static let. We still Postman up, so our categories endpoint is called categories, which makes sense. And then technically this is the base URL, but that is not what we are going to be using for this. We are going to use a tool called ngrok that can, because you can't actually hit this repository, or you can't hit this URL technically, I believe. So we're going to try it because technically everybody's computer is called 127.0.0.1. Oh, is there a standalone VIP architecture? I haven't heard of it, if it is, or maybe I have, but I have not implemented either of them. So the string would be like, what did I call these variables? Request dot base URL plus endpoint dot categories is what this would look like. And we need to put a slash on the end of that. Yeah, because I don't know if this will actually work from my computer, but we are going to try it. Otherwise, then we're going to use ngrok. And we also need one more tab to open. Because we need to open expense tracker kit, which is the Vapor project. And we need to start up the... So now the database is started in Docker. So if I were to open the Docker dashboard, right here, expense tracker kit, the Docker container is running on my computer right now. Yashi said you can wrap it all on an if debug and have one be the local host and other be the actual URL. Yes, that's what I'm going to end up doing. But right now, though, I don't think you can actually hit this directly from your Xcode. Somebody said maybe, so I can't remember, so we'll try. But I didn't think that you could, and that's not how I taught it in that YouTube series. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Keith. I saw the end of that animation. I thought I had a sound for that, so I would see it. But maybe I don't, and I need to add that. So I caught the very end of it, so thank you, I appreciate it. Let me see, do I have sound on that? Advanced audio properties. You heard the sound. Yeah, I have it set so everybody else hears the sound. I don't have it set so that I hear the sound. Or I thought I did. I've totally had that set up before. Monitor. Yeah, I have it on monitor and output, so that means everybody hears it. I will have to look into that later, because I know the Buy Me a Coffee one, that has been working previously. But thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. And yeah, another thing I was going to do was stream to both platforms. So I was going to stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And I just have not set that up yet. And I don't know if I'm going... I will maybe by the end of the year is the goal. And then I'll have to really like mess with all those settings and hopefully figure all that out. Okay, so we have our URL, so we actually just need to call http client.fetch, and we are going to call this async throws, or is it throws async? I always forget. It's async throws. Okay, we're good. So we want to return a list of categories. So we are in... We need to go back to expense tracker kit, which is the... what is that called? That is the Vapor project. And where did that open on my computer? Did it open? Oh. Did I not see that? Okay. But here we go. So I'm going to also run this project. Let's see how tiny we can make that. Yeah. So I will run this. Actually, we're going to make it a little taller so we can see the debug. But now we need to create our category object in like models. So, I don't really want to have a universal models folder, but I think we're going to have to. Maybe I will. We'll do it for right now. And then, you know, never change it later. So let's make models and put this inside, or not inside, but right there. Create a new file. This will be category. Inside of category, because our backend is written in Swift, we can just copy and paste that. And we can copy most of this, but we have to take out some parts, which is why... Oh, redeclaration of category type. Did I put this somewhere already? Where is it? Oh, it's in that view, which makes sense. So we were actually going to take that out of right there. And it will exist right here. So do I already have a category model then? I don't think I do. But we are not going to have model and content. This is just going to be codable. And so you can create a package so you could share the models so you don't actually have to retype all of them. I didn't do that because I didn't know at the time. So... But you can do that. I just haven't done that yet. So, hey Lord, sorry for asking an off-topic question. Oh, that's fine. You can feel free to ask any kind of questions, any iOS dev kind of questions. I can answer them. What do you think someone who is a backend engineer need to do / have in order to get a job as an iOS engineer? I think the answer is pretty general, as in you just need to learn Swift and iOS development. It doesn't matter that you're a backend engineer, because I would say generally the knowledge doesn't completely transfer because mobile and backend are completely different. And I mean backend by like you either work with databases or work with like APIs. It's very different than mobile development. So basically you just need to learn Swift and iOS development, and that's all you have to do. But the backend knowledge is very handy for knowing like more about databases, about like endpoints kind of thing. Yep, Yash is right. You need to learn Swift and a UI framework like SwiftUI or UIKit, but those come... I wouldn't really call them like you need to learn a UI framework, like saying you need to learn React or Angular, because it's not like that. They're just like, that is how you build the front end of an iOS application, and an iOS application really is a front end itself. You don't generally, you can, but you don't really like have a whole full stack in a mobile app. Like have a database in it, you can, but like when apps scale, you typically don't. So I'd say like learn iOS development literally is like how you become an iOS developer, which means like learning Swift, but it's not like, where is I going with that? It's not like your backend stuff like will be useful, but not like always transferable. Nice to know how to set up backend also. Yes. Yeah, so this backend app is written in Vapor because I wanted to. So we are gonna create our category object, and this is going to be or we might just return categories. Yeah, let's make an object for it though. And this is an array of category. And we need await. We will also need try. So this is URL, and we need try right here. Oh, it was never used. And what we will do here is we are just going to do return categories. So I could have put the return right here, but I wanted to separate it. And now we have to have a return type, which is an array of category objects. Okay, so that is all that's right there. We have made many changes. That's a lot of changes. Let's just go ahead and commit this anyways, even though it's not like completely done. So let's say git commit create constants and networking classes. Okay. Maybe one day I'll branch off of this so we're not always committing to main, but it doesn't really matter because it's my own project. So let's use this function now. Do we have any categories is the first question. So let's first run this app. So if we hit run, it'll show up at the bottom here slowly. So yeah, my computer's really fast, but Vapor takes like a hot minute sometimes because it's also got a lot in it. And I believe I deleted derived data recently. Maybe, I can't remember. But it's taking a minute. But honestly, this is really fast. My old computer that I had, it took like 10 minutes to just build a project. Okay, so it says server is running. So if we use postman and do get categories and hit send. Oh gosh, this should work. Well, that took a hot minute. Maybe it's because I haven't run this in a while. But we currently have one category. It is called freelancing, and it is an income category. And we can see in the log, we have the get. So let's do... Do I have a create category? I don't. Let's do a create category. So, just so we have a couple of these. There we go. Oh, I need to go in expense tracker. Now I can save it. So I would call it like get categories, but you already, or create, but you already see it because of get, patch, and post. So I'm not going to do that. So we need our object, and when we create a category, we add it as a body. This does not have a body. No, it does. It's not text, it is JSON. We don't give it an ID. That is false. Let's do income. Let's also have an expense, and let's say subcontractors. And if I hit send, there we go. We have that one. Let's create one more. What is another example? Equipment. So we're using Postman to give our database values, and now if we do get, now we have all of those. And then we'll use the iOS app. So we have that. Let me also do a patch. I want to patch and change one of these so they are not this one. I don't want that is archived to be true. I want it to be false. So let's go to this one. Oh, that is literally the same ID. And let's change is archived to false. Which I don't know. I can't remember if I set it up this way that this works. Let's see. Send. That still said true. Yeah, because I did not do that. I think I didn't add this property on there, so I'm gonna have to change it manually, I think. Or we'll just keep it for right now. Let's do another income category. Let's do YouTube. Even though I don't make money off YouTube because I am not monetized. Okay, now we have a couple things. We have an income, we have an expense, and another income. So when we fetch this, we should get back four things. Pretty much exactly, we'll get back exactly what's shown here. So now let's set up the, not the create category view, but this settings view. So, a minute 13 and autosleep. Oh, it's 1:30. I see. Autosleep, we'll see you later. Yeah, thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. Have a good night. I do not like this one. Let's see. Do I want to make this into a view model or do I want to use... Let's make a settings view model. So now we've got to create a new group for views and view models. So... because I feel like settings is going to end up having more. So this one goes in here, that one goes in there. And there. So let's create a Swift file. Settings view model. This will be an observable object. And let's just commit that. Create settings view model. There, you can say better. And what do I want to do? Yeah, in new groups. Cool. Man, not as many people chat in the evening, which makes sense as compared to the morning, but it's a lot quieter. Let's do... Okay, we have settings view. We should move all this, or I want to move most of this stuff into view model. Let's just cut all of these, drop them here. We need to change all of them to published. This looks so weird. I haven't written SwiftUI like this in a really long time. So I want to keep those because I believe I had an issue one time using this. Should import SwiftUI. I've had an issue before putting these properties inside the view model. And then we need to make an @state object private for settings view model. Actually, we could just do equals settings view model. So all of these will say view model dot. And then they should be good. Ooh, if is everything inaccessible? Yeah, because it's all private. Build failed. Why is the build still failing? Ooh, it's failing for identifier name. So I use SwiftLint in this project, and that is why it's failing, is because names should always be 4 to 40 characters. But on this file, we will just ignore it because we want to keep all that. SwiftLint disable. And that should disable the whole line. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so actually, let's now go in and we'll modify this one with SwiftLint file. So if we do SwiftLint dot, we want to change identifier name. So it is ignoring URL. Oh, is that a tab or is that? No, it's definitely spaces. So it was ignoring URL all caps but not lowercase. So if we build it now all the errors are gone because it's ignoring this one. And that is a valid SwiftLint one. So let's only update SwiftLint, or only commit this one file. Update SwiftLint to ignore URL. Identifier name. There we go. And what is the rest of this? This is all the view model stuff that we were doing now. Okay, so now instead of having income and expense, we are going to have a single category and then filter both of those. So how do we want to do that? Let's do fetch categories, and this will have our network request, but let's make an initializer. We need to have where do we do this? A setting network manager. So could you explain published? Yes, so that is a SwiftUI thing, sort of. It's actually also, I think, part of Combine. But basically, when these values change, the view will automatically, because we're using them on the settings view, the view will automatically like redraw itself. And that's kind of what it does. There's definitely better definitions, but that's kind of how I understand it, mainly. So we need the settings view model, so we're gonna get a build error over on the settings view. Yeah, and we need a property now. Private let network. And let's do self.networkManager is equal to network manager. And here, I'm trying to think, when do we actually do like the whole dependency injection and inject the object in here? It would be here. So the HTTP client that we are using is... Where did everything go? Utilities, that's where it went. Is networking. Okay. If we build, it should build now. Good. Ooh, line length violation. Yeah, that's funny. Because, yeah, this is a little hefty. We're just gonna put... I don't like how that looks, but we'll live for right now. Okay, so everything. Now we want to do network manager dot fetch categories. And where do we want to call this? We'll end up calling it in tasks, so we can make this async. And now we finally handled the error. So I am going to do a print right now, and we are just going to be like error. And print the error. And put this inside of the do catch block. This needs to have a try. But not try, await. So many keywords, and the result is unused. So that we want to do. Let's just set it to income categories right now. And this will then need to be an array of categories. Let's actually, I like that one instead. Cannot assign value. Okay. And yeah, now we get into... Okay, so all this code is good now. Now we get into on settings view, we can't use the for loop because we need to conform to more things. Hey Giannis, how's it going? What time is it for you? It's really late, right? It's 1:20 a.m. Oh, who was it? I don't know if you can see it in the chat. Somebody else, it was also just that time for them too. What are you doing awake? Okay, what do we need to do? We need to conform to hashable. This is codable and it is now hashable. And equatable. Ooh, I'm gonna have to write the equatable conformance. Okay. It is 1900 where you are. 1900. That's 7 p.m. Oh, nice. Oh, that's actually earlier than me. Yeah, it is 8:20 p.m. for me. Which is 20,000 hours. Or 2000. You've had a long day working on various projects for customers, including the cloud code that you mentioned. Ooh, that's fun. You're preparing your presentation for server-side Swift conference. I need to do that. I have a different thing I need to do this weekend, and then that is next on my list. Okay, so we are going to be how to conform to equatable. Swift, because I forget what it looks like, and Hacking with Swift has an article that we just want to do this, drop it in here. I'm gonna mark this as equatable, which I don't know if I spelled that right. This is a category, it's not a person. And we have a lot more things. Let's do ID is equal to ID. Let's do that because I don't know if that's the proper way, but technically if the IDs are right, that would mean that they're the same thing. We can bounce IDs. Yes, I would love to do that. Let's hit me up on Discord. Bounce some ideas. Oh, I just read that one. Should be conforming. Yeah, it should automatically be conforming. I don't know why it's not. Yeah, it said it wasn't. Maybe it's because it just didn't load yet. But yeah, if I get rid of this, if we build, does it say it conforms? Yeah, see, it says it doesn't conform to equatable. Maybe it's because the hashable. Let's make it conform to hashable first. It also it needs to be hashable. Yeah, I thought it would do that automatically too. I don't know what's going on. Oh, this is a class. If that's a struct, will that do it automatically? Oh my gosh, was that it? Okay, it does do it automatically. There we go. It's because I accidentally used a class, not a struct, because I kept typing everything too quickly. Oh no, I wanted to keep that one open. Where were we? Code with Chris. This one. Okay, we're on iOS. Or lesson 5. Utilities. HTTP client. There we go. So if you make... category type hashable and equatable, that's all I need to do. Oh, do one of these have codable in them? Class is fine, it's just a nested type, it needs to be fixed. I think it's fine, you don't see any class. So we have that. The next thing, okay, now is the category part of this. So we want to show income category dot name because it is that one now. Okay, now does it build? Are we good now? Okay, cool. It is now happy. So if we run this, I need to call the function first. Before we do anything, we need to call the function. Toolbar sheet. Task. I don't like how... it's so obnoxious how far down this has to be. I could extract the whole toolbar so it could go somewhere else. And I might do that because it's very long. So if we do view model dot fetch categories, if we do that here, await fetch categories and build. So we should see our income category should have all 4 categories that we've done so far. Let's see. We just did a lot of coding and have not tested anything. Did you see it? It happened. There they all are. There's all 4 of them. We are publishing changes from a background thread. That is okay for right now. Yeah, right here. So let's do... oh, what is it? You can mark main actor, I think, for one of these. Will that fix it? Oh no. Just put main actor on the function. Okay, not the property. Okay, let's see. Hit settings. Look at that. There they all are. Oh, also, good to know now. I did not have to set anything up. I am still actually using 127.0.0.1, and I didn't have to use ngrok. Interesting. I did not know that. Maybe I did set up my computer to do that, though, to automatically use 127.0.0.1 and use my computer. I think I did set up my computer to do that. Properties also compile but are not helping this case. Main actor on variable locks the variable's access to that actor's context. Ooh, that's interesting. I did not know that. That is something, a lot of Swift concurrency is not something I've done super in depth yet. That's good to know. But there we go. Cool, we are fetching all of these. That's awesome. Let's commit this while we're here. And then we're fetching the categories and then we're splitting them between these two lists so we can just filter this. So let's do, whoops, git add, git commit. There we go. Well, that's awesome. That took us about an hour and a half to figure out how to do. You've done too much concurrency lately. Ooh. Yeah, concurrency can get confusing very quickly. So let's see, here's all of our Vapor requests. So we did that, that's awesome. Let's split this properly. So Giannis, what do you think? We could do fetch categories and create a arbitrary category, and then actually income categories and expense categories could then be computed properties that just filter out categories, filter the right one. Or, I don't know, that's the first way I can think of. It's more than you are messing with performance optimization, Swift concurrency. Ooh, that is tough. And it's hard to control, yes. Let's first change, let's get rid of all these networking because we've done them. Okay, I need to do expense category, whoops. Dot name should fix this, and we should probably we'll also conform the category to identifiable. Should I make these be in order? I might make them alphabetical. Ooh, can it be identifiable if that's a question mark? I don't know. Okay, I don't think any of those are related to this. I am going to make these. We are putting these in alphabetical order. Okay. Yeah, so now we're over here because we want to change this. It can be optional because it is hashable. Good to know. Yeah, so codable is that we can encode and decode it. Equatable is about making categories, one category equal to another if we can do that comparison, because you can do it with strings and integers, but like when you make a custom type, you have to make it equatable. Hashable, I don't really know what hashable does. And then identifiable just means that each each object is unique. Hashable, it's not encoding it though, but it's doing something else, right? Hashable just hashes stuff. Makes sense. Let's make this a computer property and see what happens. Category. So if we make a published, does this need to be published? I don't know. Let's make it not and see. Categories. And this one is of type category. And so we have categories. We'll get there. We have categories here. And then here we do categories dot filter dot what would it be? Type is equal to income. Property wrapper cannot be complied to a computed property. Interesting. Hashing something basically reduces an entire type and all its contents into an integer, a 64-bit integer. Okay. And then you can quickly compare two integers to get an estimation of equality. Okay, that makes sense. So it does not like this being here. So if I made this not be published, but maybe then this one is published, will that then technically work the way we want it to work? I don't know if it'll update the SwiftUI part of that. We will find out. So we have that one, except this one is expense. Categories, do that. Let's see, I have no idea if this will work. Oh, it did work. Okay, cool. Can lean on publishers through the original type. Ah, makes sense. Giannis, I'm so glad you're here. You are giving me great answers for how this works. If you want to be sure it's equal, you can still do the equals check. Makes sense. Skip, but the skip's 99%, yeah. Good to know. Awesome. I am glad you're here. I appreciate it, and okay, so that's cool. I want to put, okay, I just want to reorder these. These are gonna go up here. Private, then we have the initializer, and then we have our function. Cool. And so now, if we go create a new category, let's see. What would be a new income category? Let's say streaming. And hit send, and then we go back here. If we just refresh it, or we could have closed it and opened it again, we should now see our new streaming category. Awesome. Well, that's fun. That's great. That is exactly what I was going to do today, and I don't know if I had anything else planned. We're doing that. That's all that updating. Yeah. Fetch all categories, and there we go. A dictionary is also called a hash map. Oh yeah, I always forget that that's also a name for it. Is actually like a hash, a key, a value kind of type. First it checks if the key can be found by comparing the hash, and then it checks the key using quotable. Oh, that's interesting. So values stored on a key and a hash alongside of it. Yeah, so that's how you quickly find keys, and you use the value to grab it. Yeah. And you use to grab the value. That makes sense. Okay, so we have successfully grabbed income and expense. Do we want to also grab accounts while we're at it? Do I have any? Have I created any accounts? Let's see. If we go to... Whoa, did that song just like ended very abruptly? Did I make an accounts one? I don't see it. So let's make a new one. Called... I'm guessing the endpoint is probably accounts. Because, you know, I was the one who coded this. So account controller, we used accounts. Cool. And an account object, I think, is an ID and a name. Yeah. So let's do get accounts. If we hit send, yeah, we have 2 accounts. We have... I should definitely categorize this. And maybe I will. But it's already in an order, so I don't care that much. I'm gonna change this one to expense. Because I just saw it, I put patch and it already says patch, so I'm gonna change it to expense. Why did that one not save? Come on. Saving. There we go. Now it... Okay, there we go. Accounts. So that one works. Can you make a song suggestion? So I don't have things like that set up. Also, I believe, what is it? You can't actually suggest songs because my channel will get like copyright strike. Or will have a copyright strike, I think. But I've definitely been on a channel though that has used that before, so I don't really know. But I know I don't have it set up that you can request any songs at the moment. But maybe I could do that on Twitch at some point. Okay, so we have checking account, savings account. Let's create a new account as well. Just to have a third one, because my defaults, I wrote checking and savings. So let's do this. Let's create a body. It is a raw JSON. And it has a name, and let's call this investment. Because why not? There we go. We have a new one called investment. Let's save this. And now if we hit send, we have 3. And now let's add on to our networking stuff. A lot of people get away with using copyright songs by removing their VOD. Yes, except I cannot do that because I am trying to get my channel monetized, and to do that, I need watch hours, and so I need all my live streams. But if you can get more people to watch my channel and then I get monetized, then I will start removing my streams, and then we could do that. But I cannot do that at the moment. Let's now do fetch categories. We also want to do fetch accounts. And we will just do the exact same thing. I'm going to comment this one out right now. But we will just have accounts. So let's put the network request in first and then add the UI. It's probably best to get watch hours in videos because you think streaming watch hours can vary. Actually, I have gotten a lot of watch hours through just streaming so far. Because when you think about it, like right now, let's say, I'm guessing Giannis is still here. Both of you are watching my stream, so both of it counts. And say you've both been here for a half hour, I would then have 1 watch hour from just 2 people being here. Because that's like watching like a 30-minute long video from each of you. So I've gotten a good amount just from streaming, but I also haven't posted videos just yet because posting videos is a lot of work and I haven't had time for that lately, so I haven't made any videos. I'm about to have one actually come out relatively soon once I edit it, but that is why I can't take down any of my live streams at the moment because I'm trying to get watch hours, and I am almost a quarter of the way there, so I still have a long ways to go. And if I make videos, then maybe we get there faster, but I don't have time for that right now. Yeah, YouTube, I would say not only can it take a lot of effort, it does take a lot of effort. You do have people who like outsource a lot of it, but I would say, whoa, did not mean to make that gigantic. I would say it does take a lot of time. So we are going to create a new function. Instead of fetching categories, we are going to fetch accounts. And we're going to copy the accounts model as well because I did not set this up to... I spelled struct wrong. I did not set this up for to use like a shared package between the two. So we just need those. Actually, these can all be lets as well. Did I do with the category? Are they all? Yeah, they're all variables. These are all gonna be let. Oh, wait, I wanted that open. I'm gonna copy this whole thing. And I did not copy the colon. But yeah, it's funny. You can see my analytics. It's always a little spike every time I put out a video or every time I go live, basically. And then it like dies off by the end of the week. It's kind of funny. Okay, so ambiguous. Why is that ambiguous? Okay, don't know what that's about. I have not changed anything over there. Oh, it's because I have 2 of them. So this one needs to be fetch accounts. And we will return an array of account. That is account, and the URL is going to be a new endpoint. We have called accounts. That is accounts. This is now accounts. That's accounts. Okay, I think we've changed everything. Does it build? It does build. And we go here, change this from this is equal to accounts, and we want to not fetch categories, we want to fetch accounts. And this needs to now be an array of accounts. I think that's it. Let's see. Let's run it. Build failed. Just kidding. Oh, it's because we need to change account. This needs to be account.name. And now it works. If we hit settings, nothing. You know why? Because we didn't call the function. Now it will work. And there we go. We have our 3. You gotta call the function to actually use the function. So we have checking account, savings account, and investment, and those are the 3 that we have in our database. There we go. I don't know. I think I want to end on this note. Usually I stream for about another 15 more minutes, but we might just end here because that was good. That was really productive. So we can also run this on the iOS app, and let's stop it and then run it. If we go to settings, it all loads over here too. Ooh, we are getting another publishing because I'm guessing I don't have main actor on this one. Yeah. Interesting that the iOS app caught that, but the other one didn't. But the iPad didn't. That's so weird that these claps and by default and the other ones don't. Okay, what do we want to do next? The next step, let's first commit everything again. Oh, that's a lot of changes. Git commit. Fetch accounts. In settings VM. Okay, so the next thing, I did want to do some unit testing with this, but making a whole mock and everything is going to take like a hot minute, and I know I cannot do that in 15 minutes. We have income, we have expense. Yeah, we haven't done anything with the rest of everything. And what's nice is, whoops, another. Everything just works with dark mode because I am using defaults and have not changed anything. Okay, so I think that might be it. I think this would be a great note to end on. Let's do that. Let's end on this note. So, what we did today, we did a lot of things. So, we reorganized everything. So, all of the code right now is inside of a folder called shared because this will be shared between the iOS, the iPad OS, and Mac OS like targets eventually. So all the code we're writing right now is just all SwiftUI, so I can easily share it between everything. So we can make this shared, and then we created our account and category models because I didn't actually use any kind of package on the Vapor side. so that we could share the models between the project. You can do that, but I haven't done that so far. So we just kind of copied them over. We created a new HTTP client, which is a protocol, and then used a bunch of enums so we don't have to type out words basically, and everything can be type safe. And then we implemented the HTTP client with a class called networking. And then we created an actual implementation of that network. Did I need networking? Did I even use that HTTP client? No, I totally did not. Maybe we don't even need this class actually. We're not even using this, right? Yeah, we are oh wait, we are using networking. Okay. I don't remember how I put it together. We have networking, then we have settings, networking, manager. And HTTP client. So what do? We have our HTTP client. This is the protocol. We implement that protocol with a class called networking. And inside of settings network manager, we use, oh, that's why I had settings view open. Or inside the view model. So inside of the settings view model that we created now, we use the settings network manager. Yeah, we use this one because this is, yeah, this is the real implementation because we're actually using real types versus in the view model. We accept our settings network manager here. Where do we actually use networking? Is that on settings view? Or do I not need it and I made this harder? Okay, on the view, I use networking. So we are injecting. Okay, so our settings view model has a settings network manager of settings network manager. And our settings network manager has the networking class. So that later we can unit test this, which maybe we'll start off the beginning of the next one doing all the unit testing because that would be fun. Okay, Giannis, have a good night because it's very late for you. And I'll talk to you some other time, and we'll chat about the server-side Swift conference. But have a good night. So we are implementing networking, and this is I feel like we don't need this. I feel like this is not needed because it conforms to HTTP client. Networking manager takes in an HTTP client. But this code, is that the same as our client? No, the client is, yeah, the client's the protocol one. This one is the one that does the real stuff. But it's all still generic. And then this one is the real implementation of using that stuff that we wrote. Yeah, that's how we put it together. So then when we unit test this, we can, in settings view, actually not just settings view, but either the view model or unit test these individually, we could inject a mock HTTP client. That was the goal here. And that's why I went through all of that. So we'll see if we'll unit test this and see if I actually set this up properly. I think that could be a good next step with everything. But yeah, that's what we did today. It was a lot of building everything. And then in the end, when we run this, we created our view model that all it does right now is it has a couple properties. And then we have our functions that actually fetch everything. And what's nice about putting all the networking in a different class is that we can literally just like call fetch, and that's like all that we have here. We could make this even shorter and let it just like fail silently, but that's how we've coded it so far. Hey Tyler, how's it going? Yes, we are using async await with this. You joined at the end of the stream, so I'm about to head out. Maybe I'll jump back on because I was thinking of possibly doing like a little gaming stream because that would be kind of fun. But that's what we've done is we've done all of this networking, and when we hit settings, we are actually fetching these values from the database. Hey Tyler, yeah, you wanted to jump in anyways. I appreciate you coming, even if it is at the very end. But yeah, we did everything and we fetch, and these are values that are actually in the database right now. So that was it. So that's what we did this stream. I'm going to close everything because that's the end for this one. I think we're going to start the beginning of the next one doing unit testing pretty much everything that we wrote now so we can make sure that it doesn't break, because I think that would be kind of fun is we can unit test it and then move on to the next part of actually adding. When we click the plus button here, whoa, why is it all gone? Oh no. Oh, you can see this error. The reason why it's all gone is it says could not connect to server, because I stopped running the server. That's what happened. But the next thing we'll do is we'll click the plus button here and actually like create income and category. Income and expense categories. And doing that, then we will add on to our network manager. So that will be the beginning of next stream. So thank you everybody for joining. Thanks Tyler for dropping in, even though it's the very end. I appreciate it. And everyone else, have a good night. I'll probably also stream the next time, also on Thursday, I believe, because I'm still busy on Friday. But it'll eventually go back to Friday mornings. It's just I'm busy for like the next month or so, I think, on Fridays. But yeah, that's it for tonight. So thanks everybody for joining, and I will see you on in the next one. Bye. I don't have an ending screen. One day I'll make an ending screen.